Want to go on a fun camping trip this summer? Think about getting on the river and doing a float trip. We're going to show you how to find a legal, safe spot, what to bring, and how to be comfortable. It's a really cool way to go camping this summer, so we can get you away from the crowds and out on the water. So my buddy Nick here and I are floating the Yellowstone River in Montana, and we want to have a nice, easy weekend camping trip. And we spotted this island here. It's public land. So what we're going to do is we're going to get below it and raft into the tailwater, and that's going to be a lot calmer than these rapids up here at the top. We're going to drag the raft up on it as far as we can get it out of the water, but we're also going to tie it to a tree just for some extra security. Tying up a beach raft might seem like overkill, but you just never know what's going to happen on the river, so it's always worth taking precautions. So I'm just going to throw this rope around this dead tree, and then even if the water comes up overnight, we're not going to lose that raft. We're not going to have to swim out of here. And now in that same vein, I'm going to grab a stick, and I'm going to shove this in the bank, and we're going to keep an eye on it while we camp. And what this indicates, we're going to shove it right at the water line. If the water starts coming up this real fast and we can track it with the branches, we know we got a problem. We need to pack up camp and get to high ground. And now, right on the water line here, we know when we parked that the water is right at the bottom of the stick. And if while we're camping, while we're cooking elk burgers or drinking beers, the water starts coming up this stick, which we can track by the branches on it, we know we got to get to high ground. It's just a good safety mechanism. Every time you camp on a river, do this. You don't want to get caught in the flood while you're sleeping. Now, where should you plan a float camping trip? I would encourage you to seek out our nation's wild and scenic river system. Go to rivers.gov to find them and find information about them, and then recreation.gov to book your permits. Most of them are permitted. We're here in Montana, and we have a really special law called the Stream Access Law, so we don't need to worry about that. It basically says that anything below the high tide line is public on any stream, any river. It's super cool. I wish the whole country had it. And we're gonna set up camp and eat some elk burgers and eat a steak and have a good night out, and this experience is available to anybody. The first consideration of finding a campsite is making sure you're above any regular cycles in the river, so you know when you sleep, the river's not gonna come up and float you away. And looking at this island in this little meadow here, there's mature trees, there's dry grass. This probably floods once a year, but not really more often than that. So this is probably gonna be a safe place to sleep tonight. Let's talk about poop. Leave no trace principles state that any cat hole that you dig to poop in the ground needs to be at least 200 feet from a water source. But we're on an island. Nothing on this island is 200 feet from the water. And so we cannot leave our poop here. We have to take it with us. You can do that using a wag bag, like you do climbing a mountain. You can do it with a groover, which you'll find on like guided river trips in the Grand Canyon, but you cannot leave poop here wherever you do. And on that fun topic of poop and water, it's a river trip. There's a source of drinking water. You want to be able to use that rather than carry a bunch of water bottles. But at the same time, in a high use river like this, there's probably poop in there. And so I bring along the most effective water filter in the world, the MSR Guardian. It can remove anything from water. You can make sewage clean with this thing. And I use that for any river trips that we go on to make sure we don't get sick. It's a gravity fed thing. You hang it there, it takes a while, it's slow, but that water that comes out the other end is 100% safe to drink no matter what. Anytime you're float camping, bring a separate set of dry clothes for night. Wear them in camp. Bring wet clothes, or clothes for wet conditions that dry quickly. There's also mosquitoes around rivers. And in addition to a DEET-based bug spray, the most effective way to keep mosquitoes off you is with a Thermacell. There's a lot of gadgets out there that claim to repel mosquitoes. Thermacell and DEET are the only two things that work. I swear by these things. Let's go enjoy a good lunch. One of the nice things about a float trip is you can bring some weight with you, so you can bring quality kitchen gear, cook on a cast iron, and have something tasty. And I think Nick's got something prepared for us that looks pretty good. All right, this situation looks pretty idyllic, right? But bad stuff can happen. Water levels can rise, floods can occur. And so never come on a float trip without an escape plan. And because we're on an island, we can't just run away from a flood. We have to keep a really good eye on that stick. And Nick and I's plan is to pack up camp real fast, leave some stuff behind if we have to, and hop in that raft and get out of here if things start looking dangerous. always, always, always have an escape plan when you're on water. We've showed you how to find a safe, legal campsite depending on local laws. We've showed you how to set up that camp in areas that are going to leave no trace. We've planned ahead to pack out our waste, even though it's kind of gross, so we have nice clean water set up. Go float camping this summer. It's